All right, so let's move on to another team that's having some struggles. That's the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a rough situation because this is a team that was so hot last year and everybody had really high expectations for them. And now they, I think, have lost, 6 in a row?
It's just them and the Raiders.
Yeah, fortunately, they're going on to play the Bills. And Jalen Ramsey stands by what he says about Josh Allen, calling him trash. What else is he going to do? He's a cornerback and he's got some attitude, but that attitude might be causing some problems for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, this team that's losing, they're not feeling too good. The issues are starting to show up in the locker room, and people are starting to say that next year, Jalen Ramsey and the Jacksonville Jaguars will no longer be together. The Jacksonville Jaguars will trade him.
Yeah.
Do you see that actually happening?
I don't, because this is a Jacksonville team that has refused to make the right move when given the chance.
Yeah.
Like they shoot themselves in the foot over and over and they expect a different result. And last year we watched, like you said, high expectations because they went deep playoff run, looked so clean, but the problem was clear. Their quarterback doesn't have it. He's a capable quarterback, but he doesn't have it. He's not going to take you to the next level. We come back this year, first couple games go by, they're winning, everything's happy. Lose games, people start getting upset, people start talking more, people get a whole lot more aggressive, angry, whatever, with the coaching staff because no one likes to lose. It just brings up the frustration level all around. And that Steelers game, they had no right losing that game. They were dominant out the gates, and Ben 3 picks, looked abysmal for the first half of that game. Like it was over. It was over. Just go home. Like it was like Arizona Cardinals Bears bad.
Yeah.
It was it's done. It's done. Why even bother trying? And then the second half, and obviously you guys saw the final drive with Roethlisberger flopping over the goal line to win the game, and it was just the most frustrating thing because as a defense, they'd done everything right. And they had done everything right. And Jalen Ramsey is one of the vocal leaders on that defense, so it's not surprising to hear him continue to talk more shit after the fact. But like as far as him separating himself from the team, I completely think that as bad of a locker room cancer that he could become, Jags aren't going to do anything about it. They're a team who's going to sit on him because he's so talented, and when he goes out and performs, like he is one of the best corners in the league, bar none.
Yeah, but so. I agree with you that I don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars will trade Jalen Ramsey. But to be a little specific, and those who are looking at the video saw the title on YouTube.
Yeah.
To ask a slightly different question, should they, though? Should they trade Jalen Ramsey?
Hell yes. This is a team that can't win with their quarterback. So if you're not getting a new quarterback, then you might as well go get value for Jalen Ramsey. Like there's no point in staying where you're at, in my mind. This is a team that the defense is loaded, and yes, losing Jalen Ramsey will hurt, but it will not break their defense. They still have they have more than a handful of talented players in that defense. So feel free to move him. If you get good value back, if you're going to get, a 1 and a competent player back, pull the trigger. Do that. Like there's no reason to not, because otherwise you're just stuck in stationary. Like you're stuck in neutral. It's a team that, oh man. They get me angry because I see the old Bears on this team. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I see the Bears from like 2000. What was our Super Bowl year? 8, 6.
Yeah, 2006.
Yeah, I see that team, an incredible defense and an incompetent quarterback, and it's just like you can't win. I know what the plan is, and that doesn't work in the NFL today when it is so offensive centric. And we just watched the Monday night game where they put up 54-51. Like. That's what people want to see. That's what the game has been rule changed to allow. And you're trying to win with the old template, doing things the old way. It's not going to work.
And the thing is with this team, with the Jacksonville Jaguars too, they are so defensively built, but this offense, they rely on the talents of Leonard Fournette.
They had Fournette, they had Hyde, and they had Yeldon out there, and all three of them were producing.
Yeah. And this year, they don't have that good fortune. The run game is non-existent, essentially. And the run game is what allowed Blake Bortles to seem like a good quarterback when we all knew Blake Bortles was not a good quarterback. It was obvious. Everybody in the world knew it.
It's funny because like the NFL announcers like try to like hide it sometimes, and they're like, man, he really whipped that one in there. It's like, yeah, that's one good throw out of his last 12.
Right.
Like, can we be honest about this and not praise him for the one thing he did right?
Exactly, and it's a team where even Jalen Ramsey himself said it, where he said that we all know what the problem is. I can't say what the problem is, but we all know what the problem is. And it's super obvious. I mean, it's unfortunate that your running back gets hurt.
Yeah, I mean,
and that kind of ruins that part of it.
Yeah.
But they were kind of, I wouldn't say they were forced, but because they totally could have parted ways with Blake Bortles last year.
They had the opportunity to.
But they were kind of forced a little bit to stick with him, and they are kind of reaping what they sow right now. And it's unfortunate because this is a team that got so cocky. They saw themselves as the next Seattle Seahawks. Really great trash-talking defense, swagger, attitude. They got it all. And they're going to play some black and blue type of football, and it all fell apart because the team was not built the way they should be built. They've got a lot of good pieces, but they can only drag Blake Bortles around for so long before his flaws really start to come out. And it's unfortunate because this is a good team. You do want to see them be successful. I was hoping that they would make their way into the playoffs last year just to have something different, something interesting. A team that does not go to the playoffs. We don't need to see another New England Patriots Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And now it's completely out the window. I mean, they're 3-7 right now. Fortunately, they get to play the Bills, but the Bills can surprise people. They got to play the Colts. That's a divisional game where Andrew Luck is doing well. Titans, Redskins, who knows what's going to happen there. Dolphins and Texans. So best case scenario, maybe they can win 4 of them.
That's an awful lot of maybe.
That's a best case scenario.
I would say that is really and truly best case
That's winning
scenario.
against the Bills. That's winning against the Redskins with their quarterback struggles.
I think they're, the only upside is like, hey, look, at least we've got, a better defense and a technically healthier running back at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. So it's tough. I mean, for Jacksonville to go from so high, you were very close, basically a play away from a Super Bowl chance. Now to being maybe, for sure top 10 pick, but could potentially even get into a top 5 draft pick.
Yeah, I mean, when your team name is brought up in line with Oakland, you got to wake up. You have to realize
a team that is just flat out tanking this year.
John Gruden came into that team and he's like, you know what? We need draft picks. Like, wait, what? Up. Weren't you guys like a playoff team like 2 years ago with a healthy car? Like, I don't remember that, but I do know that I'm getting some draft picks.
I know I got 10 years and a lot of
10-year contract and a lot of draft picks. Jesus. Yeah. So no, like that's. I agree. It's just this Jaguars team. It's a wake up call for them, and obviously they're on a skid right now, and you have to something's got to click for you to get off of that. And honestly, you're not going to change quarterbacks at this point in the year. You're not going to change anything really about your game. You just have to hope that Blake can play at a great level for a couple of plays to the point where you guys get yourself a comfortable lead and you can actually win a game. And that running game, which you have 3 great workhorse backs right now, as long as Fournette stays healthy, you're in business. The scary thing was they picked up Hyde, couldn't use him because he didn't know the playbook, which is usually something people like running backs can pick up a playbook and you usually, give them a couple days. This was like a week and a half, and it's like, oh shit. So that's a little concerning. But they have all 3 backs now. All 3 are able to be used. They've got a run game. They've got a great defense. They should be able to win 2 more games this year without a problem. 3 games maybe. It's just, I don't want to be overly optimistic because I don't want to continue to tolerate Blake Bortles' terrible play.
Yeah.
How is that okay? How is that an expectation that the team of Jaguars are okay with?
And that's something that I had said last week. Ricky and I did our first mock draft. It was an early mock draft. And one of the things I kept saying about teams like the Jacksonville Jaguars, and some of these other teams which just can't get success right now and don't have a great quarterback is, how do you put that quarterback on the field again next year and convince your fans you're actually trying to win games?
That's spot on, Mark.
And that's the thing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And fortunately, they might be high enough to where they can make a quarterback change, especially if the Giants don't draft a quarterback again, or maybe the Giants.
God.
They're on a 2-game win streak. Maybe they keep that up.
Eli never retiring.
Right, and they just play their way out of the chance to get Justin Herbert if he decides to come out.
Yeah.
Or there's not really another.
I'd say it was him and
quarterback.
everybody else right now. So even with his injury.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate, but the Jacksonville Jaguars, they gotta do something different. And unfortunately, like we said in the last segment with Alex Smith's injury, when you look at the free agency quarterbacks next year, there's not somebody there. So,
is there anyone better than Blake Bortles? The answer is probably not.
And I can't think of a team
Not definitively.
that would be willing to straight up trade you Jalen Ramsey for their quarterback, with a quarterback who's actually good enough to come in and be a good selling point.
I don't know a good quarterback on a team that would consider him expendable.
Exactly.
Quarterbacks are a rare commodity in the NFL, and having a capable starter and now more than ever a capable backup is necessary.
Yeah, and there was not a Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes situation anymore. That's kind of gone and out the window, especially since Alex Smith is injured now.
Yeah.
Jacksonville really kind of needed to win the Kirk Cousins lottery last year because that was the best option. There was not going to be another quarterback. They were not in a situation where they could have drafted one unless it was going to be Lamar Jackson, which actually would have been kind of nice for Jacksonville Jaguars.
All things considered, yeah.
I think they would have liked that. They could have had an amazing running game.
I mean, they can go see what the value is for an RG3.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what the Ravens are going to do if they want to keep Flacco still, and who knows? I mean, RG3 would then become expendable.
Mm-hmm. If we want to throw it out there, because we're talking about mobile quarterbacks, Colin Kaepernick exists in the world.
Oh my God. Okay, that's sad because I didn't even think about Colin Kaepernick. Like, he's so far removed in my head because it was just the understanding that no NFL team will hire him.
Yep, and it's true. They're not going to hire him.
He has the talent to play in the NFL, but they will not hire him. It's on principle at this point.
He's gone. He's not even an option to consider. Sam Bradford, I'm not sure what he's up to nowadays.
You can kick the can on Sam Bradford. I mean, he got benched for a rookie. It was Josh Allen's time, but or not Josh Allen.
Josh Rosen.
Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
Rosen. But again, he's a guy who talented as a young kid, but injury prone. And then he ended his time with the Arizona Cardinals by throwing a pick.
Yeah.
And it's just that sort of sums up your career, man.
Yep. See you later. So for Jacksonville, you sit there and you're like, what is going to be the next option? There's no way. And Jacksonville fans, please let me know if I'm wrong on this.
Do you need a new O coordinator or something?
Maybe.
Does Blake Bortles have arm talent that he can consistently show us?
No.
Moving on.
Jacksonville fans, I mean, let me know. Is there any way that you can sit on your couch next year, see Blake Bortles come out again week 1, and you can sit there and say, this is a team that wants to win games? Because he's already proven. I mean, I know that last year existed, but last year was the anomaly in Blake Bortles' career. Blake Bortles has stats that look decent every now and then.
Yeah.
But why? Because Jacksonville has been such a bad team for so long that, man, did he get great garbage time minutes. You could pick this man up in fantasy football. Don't look at your score until it's fourth quarter, and all of a sudden you get Blake Bortles points. Because that's how it would happen. That's how he would get his points. Then last year, he became such a just kind of slow-moving, let me just not make mistakes because I got a great running game and I've got this great defense.
Right.
This year, the running game hasn't been good, so he's been completely exposed. And the defense has been good, but the defense isn't saving him enough. So it's very, very difficult right now to understand what the future is going to be for the Jaguars, because they can't just completely blow it up. They can't just pull a John Gruden and say, screw it, have Jalen Ramsey, have everybody.
Yeah, they've got such good talent on that defense that I hate to blow everything up, but if Jalen Ramsey's the disruption and you want to send a message as a coach, then you can do it by all means, but you have to get something in return that is actually worth it, and equal value might not exist for Jalen Ramsey on the open market.
Yeah. And then the flip side is going to be that quarterback class for this draft class. And in my mock draft, I had 3 quarterbacks going, but it wasn't because these quarterbacks deserve to go necessarily. It's because these are teams that needed quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers, the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm willing to say Jameis Winston. They need a quarterback.
The Buccaneers
now.
are so funny. They've benched both quarterbacks multiple times this year. It's like I don't even know what like.
It's like the Browns.
They're so bad.
With how often you could bench what's his name last year? Their quarterback whose name I forgot. Now he's even on
Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah. Now he's on the Packers.
Notre Dame, great.
Yep, he's great. Definitely great. Come in there. No, we're gonna bench you mid-game. Then we're gonna start you and then bench you again. So
many false starts.
It's just difficult to see what they're gonna do. The Jacksonville Jaguars really need to hit on some type of quarterback magic.
Yeah.
And hope for the best, or hope that some fluke happens and Eli Manning gets cut because the Giants draft a quarterback and you can get Eli Manning somehow.
They had a chance at last offseason too, supposedly.
Yeah, they maybe should have gone for it. It's got to be better than what's going on right now. It's not like Blake Bortles has been terrible. I mean, 12 touchdowns to 8 interceptions is not the worst thing in the world.
He will not win you games.
I mean, his turnover ratio is even with his touchdown ratio when you put the fumbles in there.
Yeah.
Which isn't very good. But
no, generally not. I mean, not to compare him, but at the top of the league, you have Drew Brees, who's thrown 1 interception this year.
Yeah.
Versus,
a million touchdowns because he's Drew Brees.
Yeah, that's Drew Brees doing Drew Brees things at age 40, 39.
He's like 30.
40.
Yeah, he might be 38, 39. I don't remember.
He's not quite Brady old.
Yeah, but he's old. He's old as hell. But hey, if he wins the Super Bowl this year, he can walk off.
Get a quarterback and just take him till he's done. You know?
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe the Redskins will give up on Alex Smith, and maybe he can limp on the field next year and have something.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be people out there in free agency.
You're not going to have the first choice, but you can have an option maybe.
Yeah, it's just that
see if there's anything left.
Yeah, there's really nothing that's going to be that exciting. Maybe you can get Josh McCown to show up. Josh McCown's okay. But yeah, it's unfortunate. No. And I'm very curious, Jacksonville fans, to let us know what would be a free agency quarterback that you would want. Because you could trade for somebody too, I guess, but
yeah, I mean, I don't really
look
know
how
well that's worked out for teams this past year.
Yeah, so that's probably not going to work out. But maybe Sam Bradford's going to be the best option. I don't know what else is going to really truly be an option for you.
There's not a hype get hyped Jacksonville. The season's turning around kind of conversation.
Yeah, and it's funny too because we talk about how the Jacksonville Jaguars at the beginning of this, we were talking about how they were doing really well against the Steelers. They only scored 16 points.
Yeah.
So I mean,
so bad.
It's not like they were sitting there up by 30 and then they
but the play calling acted like it was a problem, and that's why I wonder is it just if you get a new offensive coordinator in there, cycle another one out? I mean, look, I don't know. I'm stabbing at straws trying to make this team win a game.
No, I get you.
It's just, you try.
Well, they play the Bills next week.
Play the blame game.
Or this
if
week,
you can't,
say.
Yeah, unless the Bills go Bizarro mode again and have out of this world defense, yeah, you should win.
Hopefully.
You
never really know here.
Yeah.
I think right now, actually, the Buffalo Bills are favored.
Oh my God.
At the moment. 51.7% chance of winning this game. Both teams 3-7 right now. So if the Jaguars lose this game, it's only going to help their draft status. So
we're already going there.
You might want to just go for it. My kind of thing I just think with Blake Bortles is I bring it up all the time with guys like Marvin Lewis, the Cleveland Browns, with their fired coach, who's coincidentally back on the Bengals now.
Hey.
For Hugh Jackson. When is enough enough? When are you sick of Blake Bortles? When are you sick of just subpar to average quarterback play with very few flashes of brilliance? When are you going to say this team is better than that? We don't have Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
We're not going to win that quarterback. Or win the Super Bowl with a bad quarterback. It's not going to happen. We need something better. Unfortunately, the options aren't necessarily there. But you got to try something, right?
Maybe you go Jalen Ramsey plus your 1 to get that number 1 overall.
Yeah.
You pull out some sort of blockbuster deal. I mean, if that's what it takes, push the button because you need a quarterback in today's NFL.
Exactly. Anything else about the Jacksonville Jaguars, Dave?
Nah, we good.
All right. We're a little bit done talking about them. But let us know down below in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube what you think about the Jacksonville Jaguars. And what are they going to do next year? Week 1 next year, who is going to be the starting quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars? Blake Bortles, a new guy from free agency, from the draft? Let us know down below in the comment section.